This client and I were working on her struggle to enjoy this season of life and not constantly question herself and her life as falling short of some unclear vision or destination that she should be at by now. Witness how quickly we go right into what part of her has been running the conversation in her head about her life. And I really encourage you to stay to the end to hear my analysis of this conversation. So, I just want to highlight a couple key moments in this conversation that, for me, guided the direction of this conversation. I've recently made a bunch of videos working with an AI chatbot as a coach. So, I made this series this week in part to explore some of the skills a human life coach possesses that AI just cannot and will not ever possess, which truly inspire deeper level transformation and not just temporary change for the client. With this client, you can really see from the very first question the intensity of emotion right at the surface. We know that AI can't perceive emotion, and even if it did, it wouldn't know what to do with it. As a coach, one important aspect of supporting my clients is moving through uncomfortable emotions they've been avoiding feeling. For this client, shame and embarrassment were obstacles to her happiness in life right now, most likely slowly built up from those little instances like the interaction she had with a colleague who asked if she was singing enough, and her experience with her daughter and the bear. Expression is an important part of healing and shifting our perspective in life. And it's when we hold in feelings like shame that causes more and more inertia and starts to weigh us down emotionally when we're actually living really great lives. So, in this coaching, I thought it was really important not only to give the client space to feel and express what she was holding in, but also invite her to allow and lean into those feelings as they come up in the future. When we try to avoid feeling something that we don't want to feel, like for this client, the shame or fear of possibly getting it wrong in a big picture level or just in the day to day, it can really affect our internal perception of our lives, as well as the choices that we make. Another really great insight from this conversation I want to make note of is the role of trusting in our own agency. When I asked the question, what makes that voice in your head louder? Like, who gives her the microphone? It was intended to support the client's agency around thoughts and ability to shape her own life vision and experience. We all let our conditioning take over at various times in our lives, and a life coach will be adept at pointing to a habitual, patterned way of thinking or being and encouraging the client to choose which thoughts deserve our attention and belief and which do not, and which don't. Ultimately, the value I hope that you take away from this conversation is to pay attention to which thoughts and inner voices that you are believing as true. And when one of the voices becomes louder and louder with self-criticism or self-mistrust, there is an emotion that needs to be heard and felt in order to come back to that true center. So the longer that you avoid it, the bigger that emotion will grow and the more it will start to affect what choices you make in life. I'm really curious to hear what you got for yourself from this conversation and what you noticed in this client and coaching session that stuck out most. I look forward to reading your comments.
So, my problem, I think the problem is that I've never had a clear vision of what I want my life to look like. And to expound upon that a little bit is I'm feeling very much in like messy middle of my life, and like I feel like I'm doing a lot, like I'm busy, and but I feel like I'm kind of not doing anything at all. I don't feel like I'm having some sort of like impact. I don't, um, which I'm not entirely sure is true, but I feel that way sometimes. And I said, I'm not necessarily unhappy, but I wrestle with like this feeling of needing clarity, but I don't know really what I need clarity on. So like I said, I feel like I've never really had this clear vision for my life. For the longest time I was trying to be a singer, and that kind of, I still sing and I still work on it, but it's not like my whole identity. And I have kids, and I'm a wife and I teach cycling and whatever. But what I really want is a feeling of being settled. I feel like inner chaos all the time. Um, and it's not like I don't want to say it's like a tortured feeling, but it is like a little bit of turmoil sometimes where you're just like, and I can't settle. And why is this important for me is because I just want to feel safe and confident in who I am. And I like just want to feel like I'm doing something that matters. To whom I don't know, like this, like kind of all the like. I think sometimes I actually do feel good, and then I question myself for various number of reasons. So that is where I'm coming from.
Before we move into all of the juicy opportunities here for you, what is the emotion that comes up when you share about that?
I guess it's like a shame. Like it, like I'm like I'm embarrassed, you know? Like I feel like I'm supposed to have it all together and I'm supposed to have, I don't know, like when you talk to people about like I ran into an old colleague last night when I was leaving this fundraising event. And he knows me from through singing, and he was like a mentor, and he's asking me like, are you still singing, are you singing enough, like, and I'm like, I'm singing like I just was saying. But I'm not, I feel like I don't have anything showy about my life, but like who cares? I don't know, it's like, why do I care about that?
Mm. I'm curious about this part of you. If we imagine that our brains are like a boardroom full of people sitting at a table, and this person sitting at the table is the shamer, is the one with all the shoulds, is the one with all the disappointment and the what are you even, the judgment. Who is she and how old is she? And tell us about her.
um Sorry, I've been processing a lot of this the past couple of years, so um it's like her voice is in my head a lot, like um the who do you think you are, and or like that question, like that comes up a lot, or like I don't know why, like the questions are like things that just really can like burn, like, well, did you think your life was going to look like this? And I'm like, I don't really know what my life, I like, again, I've never really had a clear vision for my life. Like, I wasn't the girl who was like, I'm gonna be married with kids and a white picket fence. Like, I never dreamt about my life, like, and fantasized about all the things I would do in the future. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna be a singer because I'm good at it. Like, and then that didn't pan out the way. Like, singing has been the hardest thing to do in my whole life. Like, I've had the biggest struggle with my voice. Like, and still do. Like, to this day, I'm 36 years old and I have 2 degrees and like an advanced like certificate in singing, and like, but yeah, that it's definitely some of that, and I don't know, like, I don't know why I keep carrying that, and then I also feel I'm like, maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's just like the external world, or maybe it's something I made up in my head, and like maybe I'm crazy.
Mm.
Um, you know. So,
Well, the beauty of this work, of this conversation, of being a human is that that voice represents that role in your life, the person that inserts the shoulds, inserts the shame, or makes the judgments of are you sure about that, what about this, the questioner. And all of us carry that. It's a part of all of us. And my question to you is, What makes her voice louder than other people's at your boardroom or in your boardroom? Who gives her the microphone?
I mean, I do. Like, I
Why do you
think
think you do that?
like conditioning, like it's it's like I feel conditioned to question myself
Mhm.
all the time, whether
Mhm.
it be because of like that person or a variety. There have been plenty of people who have doubted me or maybe even had like the best interest at heart in questioning me, but you know, still that like you're like, oh, maybe I can't trust myself. This actually came up recently where I felt like I couldn't trust myself for this. It was this is like, it's so embarrassing, but like I will share it. And my daughter, really, she got like a stuffy day at school, and so she really wanted to take this bear that was my bear that when I was little. And I like I'm protective of the bears. And I even my husband and I both were like, I don't know, honey, like let's pick a different stuffy. And because she's 5.5, like she's not even 6, she's in kindergarten. And I said, let's not. And then but she was like, please, please, please. And that, like, it's like she really wanted to do it. And like I was like, you know what, let me give her this opportunity, like to like take responsibility and da da da. So I said, you know what, honey, I know you really care about Bear. I know you know how important Bear is. I know you'll take care of him. Well, she left him on the bus. And of course, like then like there was this whole thing, and I was like, why did I trust one, why did I do that to her? Like that was a little unfair, like to put that much responsibility on her. She like I was like, I think she can do it. But then why did I do that? Like why did I can't trust that that was like the good decision to make. Like, and so I felt like I can't trust me again, like yet again I can't trust myself, like to make the right decisions. Um Again, like silly small example, but
It's
uh
not silly or small. Yeah.
like anyway, I like digress, but
Well, you didn't actually, because I mean, you pulled a layer back from the I've never had a clear vision of my life. Well, how can you have a clear vision of your life if you've never trusted yourself? What's the scariest part about trusting the CEO voice in you, the true Logan at the table?
that's gonna be wrong, that it's all wrong, like that I'm not making the right choices, I'm not, like, which is so like when I say that out loud, I'm like, why would you think that about yourself? Like, um
But there's that voice again. That's just that voice again doing the thing again.
um yeah, like, just what if it's the wrong choice? Like, you don't.
What do you feel in your body if you believe you got it wrong?
I don't know, I just like want to recoil, you know like I just want to hide.
What would happen if you were to embody that right now? The feeling of like, I totally got that bear situation wrong. And I'm embodying that feeling of like, I fucked it up. And the recoiling is happening.
Yeah, I'm like, yes.
Mm-hmm. What would
Yes.
happen if you fell in love with that feeling instead of avoided it?
I have no idea what that would feel like.
Well, if you're
Actually, I think,
feeling it right now, what would
yeah,
happen if you welcomed it instead of tried to escape it as soon as possible?
I don't know, there's a bit more openness. It's like in singing, like, I've always wanted to get singing perfect, and like anytime I make a bad sound, I basically stop any form of progress because I'm not allowing for the mistakes. I'm not allowing for like the messy middle, like where it's not all perfect. But like when I actually just had a lesson yesterday, and I think this is why there's so much coming up right now, because it was even when I did like the nasty sounds, like it progressed into something like usable, and something that I felt proud of, and something that I was like it just you just kind of it the and I had like a word vomit story of like on my Instagram yesterday, where I was just like, you just kind of like release into everything, and you just open up, and it's like and so that's why like I feel like I cry all the time, because I feel like I always am trying to like calm my nervous system in a way, and just like open up, and release whatever has been held. I feel like I've held on to so much. I don't even know what's in there anymore. Like,
Yeah. What if every time you bumped into that recoiling was just another, oh, I've got another like tension to release here?
yeah.
What would
Yeah.
that change about the feeling, about the experience of the feeling?
I just think it wouldn't, maybe it wouldn't like last as long, and I wouldn't like be so, feel so like beaten down by it, you know? I could actually like step into it and like do something with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, even just hearing you speak, it feels like there's still unintentionally an arrival point that you're waiting for. Like this is supposed to be like, I don't feel this thing anymore, and I suddenly am just always open and always happy and always trusting my vision, and it's always there. And that ain't life. None of us on this call knows what that feels like. And the I would assert, if I may, there's two different avoidances going on. One being this recoiling thing signals to that part of you there's something wrong, and there's something wrong with me, and that recoiling of like, oh
Yeah.
no, I was just beginning to lean in and trust this thing, and now I bumped into this tension thing again, this recoiling, this shame, that voice, and that means something about me. And you're avoiding that opportunity to unravel whatever you just bumped into you. And then also, it's fucking terrifying to experience joy. So, of course, our brain is going to come in every time things are starting to just be like, I'm rolling, my voice is working, my life looks beautiful, I'm in love with my husband, my kids are amazing. Of course, our brains are going to be like, and they're going to unhinge that thing because it's vulnerable to experience joy. So that's why I'm curious, like, what if we were to allow 5% more space for joy and 5% more space for that recoiling tension?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Um, it's interesting you brought up like the joy thing, because that voice like comes back, because there's a lot of sadness in that voice, and I feel like I'm not allowed to be happy. Like I'm not, like something's always got to be wrong. Something's always wrong. Like you're always kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, essentially. Yeah.
But what do you know to be true
I
about
mean,
your life?
what do you mean? Like, what do you, sorry, what do you mean by that?
I just mean, that's that voice's opinion. Like something's always got to be wrong. Are you, if you're happy, then you must be missing something, whatever that voice may be trying to dig up. What do
Yeah, yeah.
you, Logan, know to be true about your life?
I don't know, like, my life's pretty, like, I feel, on the whole, like, I'm actually good. Like, I actually, like, I love cycling. I love showing up in this space and helping people in this way. I love being able to move my body. Like, as hard as being a parent is, I love my kids. They're like, I wouldn't be the person I am today without them. And like, my husband is amazing and like so supportive. of all the things that I do, and I like, in a way that like, I feel like I don't deserve, which I know isn't true. you know, um, so I'm kind of like, maybe this is, maybe this, like I said, I feel like I'm there, like you said, like I'm waiting for like some arrival or like something else. But like, what's the like what is that? I don't know. And that's why I'm like, oh, I need clarity. I need like more vision for my life. Like this for to expound upon what? Like, I mean, sure, I could have like more goodness in my life, but like my life is pretty good.
My
like,
challenge and offering to you to carry forward is, what if I were to place as much space and trust to Logan's voice, the true you's voice, that you currently give to that shame voice in your head? Because she has a lot of sway, a lot of volume, and a lot of power in what weight you give to the thoughts. We all have these thoughts. You are not alone in having those shame and judgment and questioning and doubt and, you know, lack of clarity. All of that is present in all of us. But that, how much you believe that voice, how much you space you give that voice, how long you give the microphone to that voice, that's all in practice. And if you were to give 10, 50, 100% of the time that you're currently giving airtime to that voice, what might open up in your experience of your own life? Granted, it's never going, you're never going to experience the we've arrived, right? Like there's some point where that voice doesn't participate in the conversation, or she doesn't have something to say about everything. And she gets to, we've all seen Inside Out. Like, we know that all the voices have a purpose and have um, good intentions for us in terms of trying to protect us and serve their roles. And at the same time, joy is who we innately truly are. And it's the balancing act of hearing the thoughts and allowing our true selves to be the ones we believe over the voices of these other parts of the boardroom table.
yeah, yeah,
So, are you willing to take that, noodle with it?
yeah, yeah. No, that's really good. Thanks.
Of course, of course. With that, we've come to the end of today's episode on the Contentment Creator channel, where we pulled back the curtain in some live life coaching sessions for you to witness my clients gain deeper awareness and hopefully take some new insights away with you too. Whether you caught the whole episode or one of our segments, either way, thank you for making it all the way to the end. And I hope that you are subscribed so you don't miss another episode. Join me in my mission to help a world full of content creators become a world of contentment creators. Bye, y'all.